Hi, this is Marjory Wildcraft. This morning I did a fabulous class with a famous herbalist, Rosemary Gladstone. Seriously, this woman is incredible, and I have to say I loved her work. But I've been stunned with is Rosemary founded an organization called United Plant Savers. And I was shocked to find out that what I thought were fairly common plants are actually endangered or almost disappearing. So things that you probably use, like echinacea or osha, or, well, I think I can understand the peyote.
Yeah, yeah.
But even golden seal and
Yes.
goldenrod,
Yeah. Not goldenrod.
but golden seal.
Golden seal, definitely, yeah. There's actually about 40 plants that we've identified that as a medicinal herb community, people who use herbal medicine, that we really need to be very sensitive. All of them are plants that are native to the North American continent, and all of them are very specific to certain habitats. Most of them are non-weedy in the sense that they don't spread really rapidly, so they need very specific habitats to grow in, and a lot of them are really in high demand. So, and it's, I would say it's not only just the United States, it's actually worldwide that there's this problem. Right now they estimate somewhere around 2/3 of the world's medicinal plants that are harvested from the wild are actually at risk. So it's actually a really major problem. There's not a lot of attention paid to it, but as an herbal community, as a growing, mature community that has a lot of sensitivity about the plants, we've sort of decided to step up and really do something about it. So in 1994, there was a group of herbalists that came together to just sort of address the problem. I think how we started with the question is, is there a problem, and if there's a problem, what can we do about it? And we would definitely say that there is absolutely a problem, that if we did not turn a conservation eye towards these plants, that really within our lifetime, even certainly within our children's lifetime, they'd be gone.
Yeah, like the buffalo.
Like the buffalo and the passenger pigeons. I mean, sometimes people would say, but look, I have so much osha growing in my backyard. Or what do you mean that echinacea can be at risk? There, it's a native plant to the prairies, which used to cover thousands of acres.
And there's bottles of it in this herb store.
Yeah, everywhere, yeah. And we'll see that with osha. We'll see that with a lot of plants as they gain in popularity and as the herbal movement continues to grow, which we're happy to see. So, and the thing about it is that's really great is that one is that it's a problem that we actually can do something about, so it's not too late. With some thoughtfulness and some right actions, we actually can make a difference to ensure that.
And so United Plant Savers works with people and teaches them how to conserve it on their land. And you also work with people in teaching like ethical wildcrafting.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what other activities that?
Well, one of the biggest things that we do is to try to get people to cultivate these plants, so that many of the plants that we're using that might be sensitive to the environment actually are being organically cultivated in really good ways, which also supports another endangered species, the American farmer. So we're getting
really, isn't that true?
Really, and
yes.
It provides a livelihood. Like there's a lot of young people who are very interested in herbal healing, who are going into farming, so they're actually growing these medicinal plants. So
now I know, speaking to organic farmers, and of course the key to a successful organic farm is having a diversity of income streams, and I understand that growing some of these medicinal herbs is actually a fairly high income stream for a small plot of land. So
it can be, yeah. I mean, a lot of these plants don't grow readily, which is one of the reasons that they're sensitive in the environment, or also one of the reasons where people might not be growing them. So some of them are really easy to grow and some of them are a little challenging. But a plant like, just for instance, like false unicorn root, which is very threatened in its native habitats and in high demand because it's a reproductive tonic. But that one we're having difficulty finding people to learn how to really grow it in any large amount. So that would be a really excellent one for people who have, triple green thumbs, to really put some thought into growing.
Now you offer resources to show people how to grow these plants?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, one of our really incredible he was a board member for many years, and he's an advisory board. He is Richo Chek, who is...
Oh, Richo, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he and his wife Maj are just, they're like, incredibly dedicated to getting people to grow these plants, and he's written a beautiful book called Growing at-Risk Plants, which is taking all of the plants that has been identified in the medicinal realm as being sensitive and really giving great instructions on how to grow them. And then United Plant Savers also published a really excellent book called Planting the Future, which is about all of these plants it's monographs on them, on how useful they are. So it's not like that we don't want people to use them, but it's really we want people to use them from cultivated sources. Or if you have plots of land, and you're managing your wild stands so that they're actually growing in numbers. And of course, we don't tell people not to. It's one of the reasons we've been successful is we've not made rules. We're not saying to people, don't do this or don't do that, but to try to find really altogether very thoughtful ways to make a difference. And we have, I would say in the 20 years, we'll be 20 years old next year. In that 20 years, we've held countless conferences on it, and we've published books, and we've, really made it a topic within the herbal community. Yeah, so it's been pretty
Well, these
exciting.
medicines are so important. As more and more we're realizing that the traditional allopathic Western medicine from the pharmaceutical companies are, there's a lot of problems with those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're grateful for them, but then also having our own
exactly.
indigenous medicines are so important.
Major important. I
Yeah,
agree with you so fully.
What are we going to do for medicine
Yeah.
if something happens and those companies aren't available, which is a possibility. How can people find out about United Plant Savers and get involved and maybe learn something about growing something? Or
We have a really wonderful, informative website. That's www.unitedplantsavers.org.
Okay,
So it's pretty
.org,
easy,
not .com.
Yeah,
Okay.
.org.
Okay.
And we also have a really great bulletin. It's the Journal of Medicinal Plant Conservation, which is incredibly informative. We really actually encourage anybody who is interested in using herbal medicine to become involved in this organization, because if you're interested in plants, you should be interested in conserving them, preserving them for future generations. But I always like to say it's not just future generations of people, it's actually for the plant communities themselves. It's important in the integrity of the plant, of the native plant communities, that these plants are protected. For our medicine, yes, but it's secondary really. It's really because it helps with the whole integrity.
The bioregion,
Yeah,
everything.
and the integrity of life. The butterflies and the insects, and it's not only strengthening our bodies, but the body of the earth. So that really is the higher mission.
I like the bigger picture. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Rosemary, thank you so
Thank
much. We've
you.
actually taken you away from your work. Y'all, UnitedPlantSavers.org, and we have Asclepias tuberosa growing.
It's one of my favorite.
I hardly ever harvest it because there's only just a few,
Yeah.
and I leave them there.
Well,
But-
this is a really great example because that was widespread. It was actually a common wildflower, thousands and thousands of acres of prairie land, but as the prairies disappeared, the U.S. prairies are considered our most endangered ecosystem because of agriculture. So really, actually, Asclepias, that particular one, the pleursy root, is on our list because of habitat destruction. And it also was native to all of the New England states. Not common, but native. And it's actually on the state endangered list in all of the New England states. So, there's a reason each one of these plants that we need to just be behind it and help it.
Help these plant communities.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.